Hi, and welcome to my presentation on the new era of PR professionals and NIL for my PRL 319 class on social media and society. My name is Margaret Sharp, and I'm excited to present the ideas that I've come up with when it comes to NIL and what PR professionals should look at with the field going forward. To start us off, I pulled this quote from Pivot PR, and it says, "The landscape of college athletics has transformed dramatically with the emergence of name, image, and likeness rights. For public relations professionals, this shift presents both a unique challenge and an exciting opportunity." I think the last phrase of this truly frame what NIL is for PR professionals. We really need to jump into what NIL is. To be honest, I didn't have much knowledge of truly the background of NIL. I just knew that it stood for name, image, and likeness, and the athletes were able to gain money off of it. Now I have a full grasp of it, and I think that allows me to see the importance of it from a PR standpoint. If you see in the top left corner, we have NCAA versus O'Bannon and NCAA versus Alston. These are the two court cases that really set the precedent for modern day NIL needs. NCAA versus O'Bannon started in 2009 when Ed O'Bannon, a UCLA basketball player, took the NCAA to court over the fact that he could not earn money when it came to people using or selling things dealing with his name, image, and likeness. Now, this was later resolved in 2014, essentially allowing for the modern day NIL deals to begin. There was still other laws surrounding caps of earning salaries for student athletes, and the pay for play was very much not allowed. However, states started loosening up their restrictions, which truly began the growth from 2014 until 2021. In 2021, NCAA versus Alston was taken to court, and it simply took the limit off of earned money for athletes. Some of these big name football and basketball players were being capped on the amount that they could earn, even when they were working hard to get the sponsorships and promotions. Now, the problem with these is that they are often mistaken to be pay for play, which is a common phrase used when it comes to NIL. However, the NCAA stands on the line of nothing dealing with NIL is pay for play. And I think that's an important part with compliance reporting. Most athletes' schools require that they report where they're getting these funds from, who's paying them. Now, all of this has to go with personal branding. These athletes are expected to essentially brand themselves as a student athlete to get the money through sponsorships and promotions, not simply by just gifts. This is where also the line draws between professional and college athletes. For the longest time, collegiate athletes were not able to get paid, and they had caps on everything from athletic to academic scholarships. There's no more of this. So the line between professional and college athlete is really truly going to get blurred the more time goes on with NIL, and the smarter these student athletes become with their personal branding. The last piece is important for coaches. The balance between being a teammate and an influencer is ultimately hard, because being an influencer is an individual, almost an individual game, whereas being a teammate, you have to worry about everyone else. I think sometimes athletes forget that they have to do the work with it, but with NIL, it's becoming more of a precedent that athletes are supporting each other through influencing and through their athletic careers. An important part of this is politics in sports. As you can see, one of the big case studies that we talked about in our PRL 319 class was the Colin Kaepernick case study, which essentially brought up the idea that social media amplifies athletes' opinion. These athletes are representing something more than just themselves and more than just a team. It's a university as a whole. And the last piece of politics in sports is the uses and gratification theory. Something that people forget is that young kids truly do look up to collegiate athletes, even before NIL became a large thing. And so being able to balance this when they are on social media is going to be detrimental to both the athlete, the team, and the university that they are representing. Here's some of the recommendations and ideas that I see happening more and more as we move into the future and act on NIL. So crisis communications is a very important piece. these are all still students, and I think we sometimes forget that they are students and not just athletes, and also that they're students over being professional athletes. And so at times, they may not know what they're doing. They may not have a fully developed brain. They may do things that, a dumb college kid is going to do. And so having someone there to be their backup, is really important. And it's becoming more important as we are putting them out in the limelight of social media. On the right side, you can see getting the help they need is a key part of this. The same as breaking a bone, you go see a doctor. If you post something on social media that you shouldn't have, you go see a PR professional. And this is where the new era of SIDs comes in. Sports information directors are already stepping into these new roles. And some schools are creating NIL divisions, and in other circumstances, athletes are picking up NIL agents, which you can see right below that, which can be a great thing for the athlete and may sometimes be a detriment to the communication teams at the universities and the university athletics. So finding that balance as a PR professional between stretching our roles for the students and also making sure that we're keeping in mind the fact that we're dealing with colleges and universities. And the last pieces are that athletes are vulnerable. They're going to need someone to handle the metrics, the data, and sentiment analysis, which is something that truly deals with negatives and positives. And sometimes a student athlete already deals with that on the field. They don't need to deal with that in their own lives. And the last part is making sure that we're still promoting to these brands that advertising with athletes and schools is important, because sometimes these brands may forget that these athletes have a lot on them. So as you can see, PR in the NIL space is truly going to be a large part of the growth of college athletics. Thank you so much and have a great day.